London Charing Cross was planned as the London terminus of the Southeastern Railway. They had wanted to extend the line from Bricklayers Arms towards Hungerford Bridge, but a bill presented in 1846 was unsuccessful. In 1857, they proposed to Parliament they would build a railway terminus in the West End, hoping to use Victoria, before an agreement was reached with London Brighton and South Coast Railway to build the line west from London Bridge. Later in that year, the SER Secretary, Samuel Smiles, looked for potential routes and decided the best location would be a site on the former Hungerford Market adjacent to the Strand, and that the line should directly connect with Waterloo, allowing a link with London and South Western Railway services. The Charing Cross Railway Company was formed in 1859 in order to build an extension, and the SER paid £300,000 in capital to help build this. The line towards Charing Cross was expensive to build. It traversed a heavily built-up area, which was exacerbated in 1862 when the company chose to upgrade 2 running lines to 3 and doubled the capacity over the bridge to 4 tracks. The bridge replaced the original suspension bridge designed by Isabel Kingdom Brunel, which opened in 1845. Work began in June of 1860 and took around 3 years. The old suspension bridge remained open until the new bridge was suitable to carry foot traffic. The trial run over the new line took place on the 1st of December 1863. The station was designed by Sir John Hawkshaw and featured a single-span wrought-iron roof 510 foot long by 164 foot wide, arching over the 6 platforms on its relatively cramped site. It was built on a bricked arch viaduct, the level of the rails above the ground varying by up to 30 feet. The space underneath the line was used as wine cellars. The roof above the tracks is a single 164 foot wide great arch rising to 102 foot at its highest point, and was built by the Lucas brothers. Charing Cross Station opened on the 11th of January 1864, and the Charing Cross Railway was absorbed into the Southeastern Railway on the 1st of September, shortly after the station opened. The Charing Cross Hotel, designed by Edward Middleton Barry and built by the Lucas brothers, opened on the 15th of May 1865, and gave the station an ornate frontage in the French Renaissance style. It had 250 bedrooms spread over 7 floors, with extended along Villas Street as well as the front of the Strand. The public rooms had balconies overlooking the main station concourse. It quickly became popular and was profitable, leading to a 90-bedroom annex on the other side of Villa Street opening in 1878. The bridge over the street connected the 2 parts of the hotel together. In 1887, Hungerford Bridge was widened by 48 foot 9 inches in order to provide 3 more tracks into the station, and on the 1st of January 1899 the SER merged with London, Chatham and Dover Railway to form the Southeastern and Chatham Railway, which took over operations at Charing Cross. Contemporary with the Charing Cross Hotel was a replica of the Eleanor Cross in red Mansfield stone, also designed by Edward Middleton Barry, that was erected in the station forecourt. It was based on the original Whitehall Cross, built in 1291, and had been demolished in 1647 by order of Parliament. Distances in London are officially measured by the original site of the cross, now the statue of Charles I, facing Whitehall, and not this replica. The cross deteriorated over time until it was such a vulnerable condition it was placed on English Heritage at Risk Register in 2008. A 10-month project to repair and restore the cross was completed in August of 2010. This work included redecorating and attaching almost 100 missing ornamental features, including heraldic shields, an angel, pinnacles, crockets and finials, securing weak and fractured masonry with stainless steel pins and rods, and reattaching decorative items which had previously been removed after becoming loose. After opening, Charing Cross became the main terminus for all SER services instead of London Bridge, including boat trains to continental Europe. Along with Victoria, it became the main departure point from London to abroad and was called the Gates of the World by Percy Fitzpatrick. Thomas Cook established a travel office in the corner of the station forecourt. The SER route became the shortest from London to Dover after the diversion at Sevenoaks was built in 1868, and by 1913 it was possible to travel from Charing Cross to Paris in 6.5 hours. Owing to its international connections, Charing Cross played an important part in World War I as the main departure point for both military and government towards the Western Front. All civilian and public boat services were suspended on the 3rd of August 1914. Return journeys from Dover carried the sick and wounded towards Charing Cross and hence to the hospitals around the country. Over the course of the war, 283 journeys departed from the station, and on the 26th of December 1918, shortly after the war, the US President Woodrow Wilson met King Charles V at Charing Cross. Commercial cross-channel services resumed to Ostend on the 18th of January 1919, Boulogne in the 3rd of February, and Calais on the 8th of January 1920. But by this time, Victoria had expanded to accommodate the strict wartime immigration and customs checks, and Charing Cross ceased to be important as an international terminal. A 70-foot length part of the original roof structure, comprising of two end bays at the south end of the station and the part of the western wall, collapsed at 3:57 p.m. on the 5th of December 1905. A gang of men were employed at the time in repairing, glazing and painting the section of the roof which fell. Shortly after 3:45 p.m. the roof emitted a loud noise, which was when someone noticed that one of the main tie rods had broken and was hanging down. Part of the roof began to sag and the western wall began to crack. It was another 12 minutes before the collapse occurred, which enabled trains and platforms to be evacuated and incoming trains to be held back. The roof and girders and debris fell across 4 passenger trains, blocking all tracks. Part of the western wall that had crashed through the wall and the roof into the neighbouring Royal Avenue Theatre, now the Playhouse Theatre in Northumberland Avenue, which was being constructed at the time. 6 people died. 2 workmen on the roof, a W.H. Smith bookstall vendor, and 3 workmen on the Royal Avenue Theatre site. At the Board of Trade inquiry into the accident, expert witnesses expressed doubts over the design of the roof, even though the cause of the failure had been attributed to a faulty weld in the tie rod. Though the SCR believed the roof had a lifespan of at least 40 years, they decided not to repair it, but to replace it entirely. A travelling timber gantry had been constructed to take the remainder of the station roof down safely, and the replacement was a utilitarian post and girder structure supporting a ridge and furrow roof. The curve of the original roof design can still be seen on the interior brickwork, with the station partially reopening on the 19th of March 1906. The old booking offices were demolished and various rooms on the ground floor were rearranged. A new 58-foot by 22-foot booking hall was constructed, along with separate ladies' waiting rooms, and additional remedial work completed in 1913. By the late 19th century, Charing Cross was seen as being inconveniently placed. In 1889, the newly formed London County Council's John Burns proposed that the station and its approach should be demolished and a road bridge put in its place. The idea gained support within the council. It was allowed the Strand to be widened and put a road crossing over the Thames that would bypass Whitehall. When the SER went to Parliament asking for an act to strengthen the bridge in 1916, Burns suggested the station was in the wrong place and should be rebuilt on the south side of the Thames. The following year, an act was passed to reconstruct the bridge with strict conditions about its appearance and a ban on enlarging the station building itself. Ownership of Charing Cross passed to the Southern Railway in 1923 following the Big Four grouping. The line was electrified in 1926 to cater for suburban services. The lighter load of the multiple electrical units was found to put less strain on the bridge, and so traffic was redesigned so that local services ran on the older section with mainline services using the 1887 extension. In 1926, the Royal Commission of Cross-River Traffic proposed that Hungerford Bridge should be replaced by a double-deck road rail bridge and a new Charing Cross station built to the east of the old one. The Southern Railway approved the idea as it allowed them to expand the station. 2 years later, a proposal appeared again to build just a road bridge and relocate the station south of the Thames, as it was significantly cheaper. The Prime Minister, Stanley Baldwin, urged the Southern Railways to accept the proposal as a matter of national importance, but the bill failed in 1930 after the Select Committee did not accept building a new Charing Cross station on the South Bank. The proposal was formally rejected in 1936 by the London and Home Counties Traffic Advisory Committee, which revived the double-deck bridge option, but all plans were abandoned following the outbreak of World War II. Charing Cross sustained substantial damage in air raids during the war. On the 8th of October 1940, a train was hit during a daylight raid on Whitehall. On the evening of the 16th and 17th of April 1941, the hotel was damaged by fire and explosives. 4 trains caught fire and there were several fires on the bridge. A 28-long hundredweight parachute mine landed next to platform 4. The station was closed to repair the damage and defuse the mine. A further raid took place on the night of the 10th and 11th of May, leading to the station's closure again. On the 18th of June 1944, a bomb took out a span of the bridge. Normal operations did not resume until the 4th of December. Following the war, the hotel received extensive repairs in 1951. This consisted of a whole new set of top floors, while the mansard roof and the upper floors of the hotel were rebuilt in a plain Neo-Georgian white brick. The booking hall and offices were modernised in 1974. Electronic ticket printing was first trialled at this station in 1983. In 1986, redevelopment began over most of the area above the platforms. The new buildings were named Embankment Place, a postmodern office and shopping complex designed by Terry Fallon Partners. This development led to the replacement of almost the whole of the 1906 roof. The rear two spans of this structure, immediately adjacent to the existing concourse roof, were retained as part of the enlarged waiting area. In addition to the original retaining side walls of the station, which once supported it, remained in near complete condition. The works were completed in November 1990, and most of Embankment Place complex is office space with a selection of restaurants on the ground floor. So let's get started here at London Charing Cross with 375610 and 375805, terminating 7 minutes late with a Southeastern service from Ramsgate. Up next to depart is 465182, 465007 and 466032 with the 1127 Southeastern service to Dartford. Arriving next to terminate with a Southeastern service off Hastings is 375822 and 375629. Next for departure is 377522 with the 1131 Southeastern service to Maidstone East. Next out to depart is 375805 and 375610 with the 1129 Southeastern service to Ramsgate. Whilst terminated in the background where the Southeastern service from Sevenoaks is a UID 466, 465 038 and 465 916. Departed over on the far side is 466002, 465927 and 465160 with the 1134 Southeastern service to Gravesend. quickly following on his heels is 707.025 and 707.027 with the 11.35 Southeastern City Mean service to Hayes. Up next, two departures, 375.822 and 375.629 with the 11.38 Southeastern service to Hastings. One in, one out now as 376.018 and 376.035 arrive to terminate, while 465.916, 465.038 and the UID 466 departs. Terminated with a Southeastern service off of Dartford and departed with the 11.40 Southeastern service to Sevenoaks, respectively. Next up arriving to terminate with a Southeastern service off Dover Priory is 375.628 and 375.706. Departed over on the far side is 465.024, 465.022 and 466.041 with the 11.49 Southeastern service to Dartford. Arriving to terminate with a Southeastern service off Gravesend is 465.181 and 465.046. Up next, two departures 376035 and 376018 with the 11:52 Southeastern service to Hayes. Whilst arriving to terminate in the background with a Southeastern service from Hayes is 466019, 465042 and 465041. And your final train of the session is 375825 and 375926, terminating with a Southeastern service of Hastings. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed what you saw, click on the two videos here at the end screen. Helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new and got this far. And we'll see you all in the next video, folks, wherever that may take us. We'll see you then, folks.